We will explain what hardware virtualization is that you were too scared to ask. First, we're going to answer 3 questions. What is virtualization? What is a virtual machine? And what is a container? Then we are going to get our hands dirty working on servers to demonstrate these concepts to you. It all has to do with power. In the past, big businesses used mainframes which consumed 11,000 watts or 11 kilowatts per hour. And that's what the IBM Z13 consumes. This is what banks used. Then companies like Google began setting up data centers where they were using servers that were drawing 2,000 watts or 2 kilowatts per hour. After that, companies like Amazon started using VM servers, which drew 300 watts per hour. These were the Blade servers. And today, we are still using the Blade servers. We are now running Kubernetes containers, which Google developed that the entire IT industry is using for their cloud solutions. You can easily run 10 containers, each with up to 100 instances inside a Blade server. So what is virtualization? It is like creating small computers that run inside your server. Or in your case, it could be like running a small computer that runs inside your laptop. By creating virtual versions of physical computers or servers, this enables us to run multiple machines inside a single physical machine or a physical server. What is a VM or what is a virtual machine? This is like a small computer that runs inside your server or inside your laptop. Ubuntu server or CentOS servers are the most popular servers used as VMs. In a PC, you could make a virtual machine of Ubuntu workstation. This is done to protect you from ransomware. So you run your emails from this machine, and if this machine gets infected or affected, it hasn't affected your computer. It's just a virtual machine, which you can create backups. What is a container? It is like the smallest computer that runs inside your server or PC. Windows 10 uses 20 to 50 gigabytes when installed. CentOS server uses 10 gigabytes when installed. Ubuntu server uses 2 gigabytes when installed. Alpine produces the smallest no-bloat server using only 5 to 10 megabytes. So you can see this is like 1,000 times smaller than a Windows or a CentOS server. We install only one application inside an Alpine server and use it as a container. So a container is like the tiniest virtualization of a server that runs your application. And the benefit of using containers, although it's so small, we can make thousands or millions instances of these. This is exactly what Google does. So now let's get our hands dirty. We are going to demonstrate our home lab, and we are going to show you 2 different machines. One runs VirtualBox and one runs Proxmox. These are 2 virtualization servers you could use to make your own home lab. We are going to first look at VirtualBox. This is a product from Oracle. It is free, and as you can see, I have a whole lot of servers on the side here that I have created virtual instances, including Rocky server and some Ubuntu servers here. How it works, you create a new virtual machine and you choose the operating system, so it will be Linux, and you choose which one you want. So I will use Ubuntu. And let's say we wanted to create a machine to protect us from ransomware, so we would use Ubuntu workstation or Mint workstation. So and we will go through an elaborate process to create another virtual machine on the side here. I'm not going to go through the process of creating a virtual machine, as it is a bit beyond the scope of this introduction to virtualization concept. That is exactly how we create a machine. And once we have one, then we click on the machine that we've created and we say start. And if you look on the right there, you can see it's going to start a server over here. It takes a few minutes to get started. And you can see the machine is started. What I have now is inside my laptop, I have a server. It's running Ubuntu 18.04. So now you can see that we have the ability to create small machines that run inside our machine. I'm now going to demonstrate the other system. This is Proxmox. Now, Proxmox is a more professional virtualization system where I have a machine now with 3 terabytes of storage as well as a SD drive. So it runs very fast on the SD drive, and then I've got 2 storage drives that gives me 3 terabytes. This is quite a big machine. I have 16 gig, which I can upgrade to 32 gig of RAM, so that I can not only run one virtual machine like I was doing in the VirtualBox in my laptop. I have a Dell PC, which I am running the Proxmox on, but I am now able to open it in the browser in my laptop. So I'm connecting to this and managing it from my laptop. So just to give you an idea how it works, I'm going to also start an Ubuntu machine on this. And I'm going to go to the console. And you can see this machine is running much faster, considerably faster than the VirtualBox machine. It started almost immediately. What's also nice with this system, I can shut my browser like I've just done now, and the machine carries on running. You can see the green arrow there shows this thing is running. And if I bring up my console, and I can expand the console, I can actually log into this machine. So, what have we seen so far? We have seen that if we use a program like VirtualBox, we are able to run 1 or 2 small servers or instances of Linux inside our laptop. And that if we want a more professional system, that this can be used by business. They do offer enterprise support for this software. So Proxmox is not a toy, but it's a serious business type application you can run, but you can also run it for free on your machine. So this allows me to have multiple machines running. So although I've only created 2 virtual machines here, I could have 5 or 10 of these running. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the other system, Kubernetes. Kubernetes works a bit different. You have to start all the servers in your cluster before you can use it. So there's a command, kube control get nodes. I run this command to see that all my servers are running in the cluster, and you can see they're all ready. I am now going to demonstrate creating a web server in Kubernetes from a Docker image and then running the web server on the Kubernetes cluster. There are 3 YAML files or YML files that you need to run in a particular order to be able to get the Nginx web server deployed. We will start by running the deployment YAML, then the service YAML, and then we will expose the service. So this is the command that we use to do that. Now we run this command and you'll see that it has created Nginx deployments. There they are. It's created as 3. So there'll be 1 in each of the workers. If you look earlier here, you saw this was the master and these 3 here are the workers. So Kudu, Tiger and Upupa, those 3 servers have got an instance of the deployment running on them. That's what we are seeing over here. Now we'll apply the next one, which is the service. So now we have a service, and then lastly we are going to expose the service so we can open it on the browser. And now we can open it in the browser. I'm going to open the master server from the IP address, or I can do it like that. And the IP of the master server was 10.154.2.88. And we can see that the Nginx web server is now running. Nginx is a Docker container that Kubernetes can deploy from the Docker repository into the Kubernetes cluster. I should be able to open it in another IP. Let's try 89. And that's now on the Upupa server. So let's just have a look at our cluster. 93 was Kudu, this one here. So there you have it. Now you have seen Kubernetes in action. We have seen what virtual machines are and that they run on VM servers. We saw VirtualBox. And we saw Proxmox as the virtual servers for running virtual machines. We also saw that the tiny containers use Alpine Linux and that Docker is the repository for keeping containers and Kubernetes is the container management system where we deployed the Nginx web server into the cluster. And we had multiple instances of the container. In our case, we had multiple instances of the Nginx server running in the Kubernetes cluster, and we were able to open from the browser each of those instances to each of the node servers. Thank you for watching this video. Please give us a thumbs up or a like and subscribe to our channel so that the channel can grow.